So, Nick Williams asks, would you consider doing a video about the movies that made you want to do film? And what about them inspired you? And the answer, Nick, is absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Joe. I'm a filmmaker, content creator, podcaster based in southern Utah. And this series of vlog videos is all about the making of my next film, Chicken Coop. It's a Christmas film that it has a lot of, it's really funny, has a lot of heart. And if you would please go check out in the description below the information on that film, I would be most grateful, and especially if you want to help us make it. So anyway, I'm going to bring you over here. By the way, for those who are wondering why I live in a camper trailer, this is temporary. I got a really cool job down in Cedar City, and there was a housing crisis at the same time. And I've lived in a car before, and I've always been interested in hashtag van life, or people living in RVs and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, I'll give it a shot for a few months. I do want an apartment, mostly because, as you can see, my TV viewing area is also my bed, which I don't like. I like to have those things separate. That's really the only reason I want an apartment, is so I can watch movies in the right way, you know? Anyway, I'll show you here. Here's my... I couldn't live without it. That is my Blu-ray DVD collection right there. And here on this bed, I have the movies that made me want to become a filmmaker. Although there's a little bit more to it. Now, there's a theme with 3 of these, being that they're big special effects spectaculars. But anyway, I got 4 movies to kind of go through, and then the one movie or TV show miniseries that inspired Chicken Coop directly. So, the movie that, you know, is where I learned that movies are made by people was Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Now, I love Jurassic Park, and I loved it a lot when I was a kid. I was really obsessed with dinosaurs. And one time my mother rented the Lost World Jurassic Park from Blockbuster, and it was like the special edition with behind the scenes stuff after the credits. And I watched those, and from then on, I wanted to be a filmmaker. Pretty simple. I just love, honestly, it's because I just love dinosaurs. I still love dinosaurs. I think they're awesome. Then, on a similar note, I think I was 9 years old when this movie came out, and we were in Wyoming visiting family, and we all went to the movie theater to see this new movie, and that would be Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. Not that surprising, coming from a 29-year-old, that Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring was a gigantic deal for me, but I have seen this movie probably 100 times. And of course, I have the special edition with the special features on it, which made me even want to be a filmmaker even more. But when I saw the Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, did I just give you Return? That was Return of the King. Whoops. Great movie too. But it was Fellowship of the Ring that really inspired me to I don't know, it further cemented me into the I want to be a filmmaker thing, especially with those special features that were available with Peter Jackson and all of them. There are images in Fellowship of the Ring that really made me appreciate, I don't know, like Peter Jackson and crew's visual aesthetics. And got me really, really amped up on like widescreen photography and big plunging moving shots and stuff like that, which I still geek out over when I see those kind of things. I still love Lord of the Rings. In the last video where I talked about movies that you watch when you feel stuck as a filmmaker, you know, movies that inspired you, Fellowship of the Ring is the first one that comes out, honestly, because I'm still always blown away by like just the world of that movie, how imaginative it is, and the filmmaking, and how that movie, which shouldn't work on like a structural level or anything like that, it's all over the place. But yet it does, and it's wonderful. Then, of course, I was getting into film. I was becoming a little film snob when I was a teenager. And my mother decided to do like a little project between me and her, which was to go through the AFI Top 100 list. And we ended up going through like half of them together. I did end up finishing that list, but one of the first movies we saw on that AFI Top 100 list, and I have no idea what happened to the cover of this movie. It's all like messed up. Was The Apartment. So you saw a bunch of big special effects spectaculars, popular movies, and they're still great. Don't get me wrong. But, and this would have been a big popular movie back in the day, but it wasn't a big special effects spectacular. It was just a, it's like a romantic comedy, or really it's a drama. I think that what I was surprised by was how beautiful the movie was aesthetically, because the photography in The Apartment is amazing. But, and so like the movie didn't feel kind of stilted like a lot of those older movies always seem to be. To me, back when I was a teenager, I don't really feel that way about old movies now. And I was just really roped into the story, and the character, and Jack Lemmon was hilarious, and Shirley MacLaine is adorable, and I was surprised by just how edgy the comedy was in that movie, and I ended up falling in love with The Apartment, and just, yeah, I wasn't, it helped. I don't know if it was the first movie that did this, but it certainly is the most impactful. It definitely helped broaden my horizons in terms of like the types of movies I was into, because after The Apartment, it wasn't so much like, oh, I don't want to watch that kind of movie because it's, it's not action or whatever. It became, oh, I'll just watch anything if it's good. Because The Apartment's just a straight drama, and I watched it many times, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. And that's another one of those movies that I would go back and watch again if I felt stuck or something like that, or just wanted to watch The Apartment. It's a great movie. Now, my introduction to world cinema. Yet another big special effects spectacular, and to Japanese movies, which I really love Japanese film in general. No surprise to people who listen to my podcast, but it's Godzilla. The first Godzilla movie, which I of course saw a bunch when I was a kid, but when this DVD came out, I believe in like 2004, I think I got it 2005, 2006. I don't know. My timeline might be totally wrong on this, but watching the original Godzilla with how like dark and kind of dread filled that movie is, I think it blew me away, and I wanted to watch more Japanese movies after that, and I did. The next like Japanese movie I saw, major Japanese movie I saw that wasn't like anime was Seven Samurai, which that movie is just a perfect movie. I think that's the greatest movie of all time. And then last, this is what inspired Chicken Coop directly. This is the giant Ingmar Bergman collection that Criterion put out. It has almost all of his films. Still a couple that weren't on here, and I still have to go track down in order to watch. But I'd only seen like 4 or 5 of his movies, and they were all amazing. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy that huge collection, watch them all, because there was a bunch of movies on my lists that were his that I still needed to see. But it is a movie. I haven't actually seen the movie version of it. But the television miniseries he did, the 4-parter that was called Scenes from a Marriage, which was recently remade on HBO, I think. Or no. That movie, or that show really just blew me away, how he was able to, with his writing, just like have 2 characters in like 4 scenes throughout an hour, just talk, and the drama was so riveting that you didn't really feel it. Like, it didn't feel like a claustrophobic experience. It felt huge. And it's like a super low budget, low rent kind of thing, but because the performances are so good, the writing is so good, kind of blows you away. And since seeing that couple I guess about 2 years back for the first time. I'm watching his other movies, which a lot of them are kind of like one location movies. That inspired me to try to write a movie like that, to try to write a one location movie like that. Now, I had made 13th Cross, and I had tried writing little dramas, little comedies before 13th Cross, and 13th Cross was like way too big of a scope for the amount of money that we had for that movie, which was nothing. And it's really cool to learn like that, and to learn to be able to shoot a movie with that big of a scope on such a small budget. But this time around, I was like, okay, well, let's just strip it down. Let's make it about character and story, and, you know, big visual things. I don't need any of that in order to tell a great story. So that was certainly where the main inspiration for Chicken Coop came from. Anyway, hope you guys didn't mind me waxing on about my influences, which always a little uncomfortable of a subject for me, because I always feel like I don't really deserve that question. But thank you, Nick, for commenting. By the way, if you guys have any questions about anything, be that related to film or not, I will bring it back to Chicken Coop. I'm doing these vlogs almost daily. There was one day I missed where I couldn't upload. I had recorded one. I'm not that happy with that one, so I'm just not going to put it out. But anyways, if you like what you see here with these Chicken Coop vlogs, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like here. Again, comment down below whatever you think of, whatever you guys want me to talk about when it comes to filmmaking or Chicken Coop or content creation or podcasting or anything. It could be about my Spanish. I don't care. I would love to hear it. I would love to answer your questions. And guys, I hope you have a good night. Yeah, see you later.